Stoicism is one of the most practical philosophies ever created in history, yet most people misunderstand it and see it as an emotionless or cold approach. In reality, it is a powerful mental framework for staying calm, focused, and resilient in a chaotic world. Let's start with a question. What if you could experience stress, failure, rejection, even complete chaos, and still keep full control of your mind? That is exactly what Stoicism teaches. Stoicism was founded around 300 BCE in ancient Greece by Zeno of Citium. After losing everything in a shipwreck, Zeno found himself in Athens searching for meaning. Instead of chasing wealth again, he began studying philosophy and eventually started teaching in a public place called the Stoa Poikile, a painted porch. Stoicism takes its name from this place. However, Stoicism did not remain in Greece. It spread to Rome, and some of its most famous practitioners lived there, such as Seneca, Epictetus, and even a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius. At its core, Stoicism is about understanding a simple but powerful idea. There are things you can control and things you cannot, and most of your stress comes from confusing these two. You cannot control what people think about you. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control unexpected events. However, you can control your thoughts. You can control your actions. You can control your reactions. This idea is known as the dichotomy of control, and it is the foundation of Stoic thinking. When you truly accept this, something begins to change. You stop wasting energy on things outside your control and start focusing on what truly matters. Imagine someone insults you. Most people react instantly. Anger, frustration, maybe even retaliation. However, a Stoic pauses and asks, is this within my control? The answer is no. You cannot control what others say, but you can control how you respond. So instead of reacting emotionally, you respond rationally. That is power. Another example, failure. Imagine you worked very hard on something, perhaps a business, a YouTube channel, or a personal goal, and it didn't work out. A non-Stoic mindset says, I failed. This is bad. A Stoic mindset says, this happened. What can I learn from this? Failure becomes feedback, not identity. This shift alone can completely change your life. Stoicism also teaches a technique called negative visualization. It may sound strange, but it is incredibly effective. Instead of always imagining success, Stoics sometimes imagine losing what they have, health, money, relationships. Not to become negative, but to become grateful. Because when you realize that things can be taken away from you, you appreciate them more in the present. And ironically, this makes you happier. Another fundamental idea is emotional discipline. Stoics do not suppress emotions. They understand them. They observe anger, fear, and anxiety, but they do not allow these emotions to control their actions. Think of it this way. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of your emotions. This creates a gap between stimulus and response, and in that gap, you find freedom. So how does Stoicism help in modern life? First, it reduces anxiety. Most anxiety comes from worrying about the future, things you cannot control. Stoicism teaches your mind to stay in the present and focus only on your actions. Second, it builds resilience. Life will hit you, and it will hit hard. Loss, rejection, uncertainty. Stoicism does not promise an easy life. It prepares you for a difficult one, and that preparation makes you stronger. Third, it improves decision-making. When emotions do not control you, you think more clearly. You act based on logic rather than impulse. This leads to better results in business, relationships, and personal growth. And finally, it brings inner peace. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you stop expecting it to be perfect. You accept reality as it is and work with it, not against it. That is the Stoic way. Even today, thousands of years later, Stoicism is more relevant than ever. In a world full of distractions, stress, and constant noise, it offers clarity. It reminds you that control is an illusion in many areas of life, but mastering your own mind, that is always achievable. The next time something goes wrong, pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, take action. If it is not, let it go. This simple habit can change everything, because Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it is a way of life.